What's up? What's up? What's up? YouTube, it's me. It's your boy D, and I'm back here with another one. And tonight we here to unlock the music section of my channel. So without further ado, ain't nothing to it but to do it. So let's dive into it. What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another edition of Dive Into It with D, and welcome to the music section of my channel. As I said before on other videos, I never wanted my channel to be all about love after lockup. You feel me? There's many different layers to D, all right? That I'm a man of various different, interests, various different layers, There's various different sides of me, you feel me? There's the nice side, there's the sweet side, there's the asshole side, there's the cringe side, there's the goofy side. You feel me? There's the cool side. There's a lot of different layers to me. And I have a lot of different interests, as you can see. I like Power Rangers. I like, all types of different shit. Excuse my language. Forgive me, YouTube, because y'all be tripping, all right? All types of different stuff, you know what I mean? So, one of the topics I wanted to cover on this channel is one of my favorite interests, music, all right? I'm a big music head. If you follow me on Instagram, you see I'm always in my car singing something. I'm a big fan of old school music, you know what I'm saying? I'm a millennial, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my mid-30s, so yeah, I kind of be showing my age a little bit, and I be listening to stuff that's way before my time that people always be like, boy, what you know about that? Well, listen, I do my research, I know good music. And I gotta be honest, I'm not much of a fan of the music that's out these days, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you who's who half the time these days. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? You get in my car with me, 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear old school music. You know what I'm saying? The newest music you're going to hear is probably from, I don't know, you might hear one or two songs from the current year that I'll rock on my playlist. But for the most part, all you're going to hear is old shit. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, old stuff. I gotta get out of the habit of using profanity. I'm trying to be a better me, all right? But anyways, talking about music, I'm a fan of various different genres of music, you know what I'm saying? I like a little bit of everything, you know what I'm saying? I like rock, I like, a little bit of everything, but for the most part, my two favorite versions of music is hip-hop and R&B. Clearly, all right? So what I wanted to do in this section of my channel is kind of dive into that a little bit as we dive into it with D. So that is why I created this top 15, my favorite top 15 music rap groups of all time, because I wanted to start this one off with hip hop, because even though I love me some R&B, above all else, hip-hop is my number one favorite genre of music. You feel me? Even though, like I said, I couldn't tell you who's who these days, especially in hip-hop, because I feel like hip-hop kind of took a little bit of a nosedive as far as creativity goes and lyricism. It's almost like anybody can be a rapper these days. You get on the internet, you make a catchy tune, a catchy beat, use an auto-tune, whatever. The right person sees you, you're a rapper. I don't feel like it's supposed to be that way. I think it's you're supposed to have the talent. And so when it comes to hip hop, I'm real big on talent, lyricism, overall message in your music. I don't know. I guess I'm an old head now, if you want to call me that. So I wanted to start this off with a top 15 of my favorite hip hop groups of all time. And the reason why I put emphasis on groups is because I'm not talking about solo rap artists right now, okay? So for those of you that tune in and watch this, I don't want anybody to get upset if I leave out a solo artist, because it's not about solo artists. Also, there's one group I'm going to let you know right off the bat will not be on this list, and that's Salt and Pepper, okay? And that is because I got them saved for a whole nother category on their own. So, nah, I ain't forget about Salt and Pepper, alright? But they won't be on here, just to let you know that. And shut up barking ass dog. Anyways, I wanted to start with the groups because, I mean, I feel like they're the easiest thing to get out of the way. And what I want to do here is go down my list of my top 15, you know, talk about the groups a little bit, what they meant to me, my favorite members, some of my favorite songs, and just the overall impact. You might see me in here getting down a little bit, all right? And I had to narrow this down to 15. It was hard, so it's going to be a couple groups that I may have left out, but I hope that you enjoy this because it's my first crack at this, and I really want to succeed at this. So hopefully you enjoy my list. You don't have to agree with me, but hey, it is what it is. So sit back, relax, take a seat, and let's go down the list of these top 15 favorite hip-hop groups, all right? Let's get it. Number 15, the Beastie Boys. I can't stand it. You're not a planet. I begin to take. Hey, the Beastie Boys. So number 15 on my list is the Beastie Boys. Mikey D, Adam Yauch, 80 Rock. What can I say about the Beastie Boys? I mean, where do I begin? The Beastie Boys were like one of those groups in the golden age of hip-hop, like in that Def Jam renaissance. They were one of those groups that kind of pioneered the way for hip-hop. And they're one of my favorite groups because they were so just outlandish. And it was unique because you got a group of Jewish kids, basically, that made it, you know, successfully crossed over, basically, into the hip-hop audience. And that was hard to do back in those days. You know, few young white kids were able to do that, and the Beastie Boys did that. And just their music in general, like the guitar riffs from their music. You can hear that Rick Rubin influence in their music, man. And I just loved them, man. My favorite member was Adam Yauch, you know, and God rest his soul. He's no longer with us, you know. We lost him to cancer, I believe, you know. And they're a legendary group, definitely belong in the Hall of Fame. I'm sure they're already in there by now. You know, some of my favorite songs from them was, you know, you gotta fight for your right to party, you know. Hold It Now, that was one of them. Intergalactic Planetary, you know. Obviously, but my all-time favorite song from the Beastie Boys was Sabotage. The guitar riffs from it, even the video, you know, just, I can't stand it, another planet, I begin to take the... Yeah, that shit was hard as... Language again, that was hard as I don't know what to me, you know what I mean? So, that's why I got the Beastie Boys at number 15, legendary group. That's the Beastie Boys, all right? Let's keep it moving, shall we? Number 14, Kid and Play. Ooh, yo, kid, I don't know what it is about this group that's here making a move, but it sure is funky. Hola, hola, hey, hey. Number 14 on my list, Kid and Play. Now, let me tell you something about Kid and Play. This group is so underrated to me. I feel like Kid and Play don't ever get the credit they deserve. As a kid, I loved Kid and Play, okay? Kid and Play, you know, along with like the Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff, De La Soul, groups like that represented to me fun hip hop. It represented that party hip hop where you just wanted to dance. And, you know, Kid and Play represented that for me. And of course, like, nobody could dance like Kid and Play. Do I even really need to get started on the Kid and Play dance? And it's not even that. True fact, Kid and Play are the first rap group to ever have a cartoon series. Yes, Kid and Play had a cartoon. I remember that cartoon. It wasn't that good, but I remember it. And not only that, you know, they had a heavy influence on hip hop, not only with their music, but even, you know, with movies. They transitioned into movies. They were some of the first rappers to be able to do that. House Party 2, House Party 3, Class Act, all classic movies. You feel me? And then their music, you know, that last night, last night changed it all. Last night, a lot of people don't remember that. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. We just dancing. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Hey, we just dancing. But of course, my favorite Kid and Play song is Roll with Kid and Play. Now everybody say, hola, hola, hey, hola. That was my shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, my favorite members of Kid and Play, the group members are, by the way, Christopher Kid Reed and Christopher Play Martin. To be honest with you, my favorite member of Kid and Play was Play. Maybe it's because I'm dark skinned, I don't know, but I always thought Play was the cooler one out of the two of them. And as a kid, Kid was actually my favorite. And it was because he was light skinned. I ain't even gonna lie. As a kid, I kind of had this infatuation with being light skinned. I thought that just was the thing to be, you know. People like Kid and Ice-T, you know, and Michael Jackson at the time, you know. I wanted to be like them, you know. They were all light skinned, you know. Even Will Smith, throw him in there, the Fresh Prince. But as time progressed and I got a little older, I started to love being chocolate. And then, I don't know, Play just became the better one to me. So yeah, Play is my favorite member of Kid and Play. But anyways, that's Kid and Play, alright? So let's keep it moving. Let's get
Number 13, Cypress Hill.
Hey, coming in at number 13 is Cypress Hill. Yeah, so at number 13, we got Cypress Hill. Group members consisting of, if I can remember it correctly, the ones I remember anyways, is Be Real, Sindog, and DJ Muggs, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was more members than that, but those are the ones I remember. Cypress Hill, I mean, to me, it was a unique type of group. You know, it was a group of essays or a group of Latino guys, and they just had this unique sound, and that is why I liked them. You know, Be Real's vocals are unmatched. You know, he just had this uniqueness to him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, it's Be Real. If you know hip hop, you know what I'm talking about. You know, don't you know I'm local? You feel me? And they kind of had this rock aspect to them, but they were hip hop. You feel me? And Cypress Hill was one of my favorite groups of all time. You know, some of my favorite songs from them was Here Is Something You Can't Understand, How I Could Just Kill a Man. You feel me? My favorite member is Be Real. I mean, that's the voice of Cypress Hill. You can't have Cypress Hill without Be Real. So Be Real, definitely my favorite member. And my favorite song from Cypress Hill, Insane in the Membrane. Insane in the Brain. I mean, that's almost everybody's favorite Cypress Hill song. So yes. But that's my number 13 entry, Cypress Hill. Alright? Now let's keep it moving. Let's get it.
Number 12, 3-6 Mafia.
Hey, rider spinners. Hey, don't stop. Hey, so coming in at number 12, we got 3-6 Mafia coming straight from Memphis. 3-6 Mafias. Group members consisting of, if I remember it correctly, DJ Paul, Juicy J, Crunchy Black, and I think it was another one, but I don't remember his name. Sorry, I forgot that one. But yeah, 3-6 Mafia. Now, 3-6 Mafia is one of the most legendary Southern groups of all time. And they really, you know what I'm saying, like, they're one of the most important groups of the South. And I remember first being introduced to 3-6 Mafia in the late 90s. That's when I first heard one of their albums. And they've been relevant to this day. And if they're not in the Hall of Fame, they deserve to be. And they probably will be one day. I mean, what can you say about them? They've been around forever. You know, to me, they kind of changed the game a little bit. You know, my favorite group member of 3-6 Mafia probably is Juicy J. I mean, you know, and my favorite songs. There's a lot of 3-6 Mafia songs I like. You know, I like it ever since I can remember. I've been popping my collar, popping my collar. You know what I'm saying? We Stay Fly. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorites. Sipping on some scissors. Sipping on some... Hey, that was my joint back in the days, featuring Project Pat and UGK. Sipping on some scissors. But obviously my favorite 3-6 Mafia song would have to be Spinners. Rider Spinners. Rider Spinners. It Don't Stop. That used to be the song I wanted to bump back in like 2005, I believe. I wish I had a car back then, because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have had no spinners on that bitch, but I'd have been riding around like I was on some spinners, just bumping some 3-6 Mafia. Definitely a legendary rap group, important group from the South, coming straight from Memphis, and that's why they got a spot on my top 15. That's 3-6 Mafia, all right? Let's get it moving.
Number 11, Naughty by Nature.
Hey, I'm with OPP. Hey, you know me. Hey, so at number 11, we got Naughty by Nature, featuring Tretch, Ben Rock, DJ KG. And man, let me tell you something. I fools with Naughty by Nature. Do you understand me? Let me tell you something. To this day, I will bump Naughty by Nature like it just came out. This is another group that I feel like is so underrated and don't get the credit that they deserve, because there's a uniqueness about Naughty by Nature. They got a unique East Coast sound to them, but it's a different type of East Coast sound, because you can tell they East Coast, but it's not New York. You feel me? It's Jersey. It's a different type of East Coast. You feel me? And you know, something about Tretch and the way he flows, just you know what I'm saying? Tretch was my guy. And even his style, you know, the way he used to walk kind of with his legs bent and had them baggy pants on, like Tretch represented hard to me for a minute. You feel me? And Ben Rock had a nice flow too. You feel me? My favorite member of Naughty by Nature obviously is Tretch. You feel me? Clearly, I could listen to the guy flow for days. You know, some of my favorite songs from Naughty by Nature, there's one, but I can't think of it. I can't even, if I could rap it right now, I would, but I have to hear it. But then the obvious ones is Hip Hop Hooray, ho, hey, ho. You know what I'm saying? That shit went language again. That mess went so viral before viral was even a thing. You feel me? But my all-time favorite song from Naughty by Nature is clearly OPP. I mean, come on, man. OPP, how can I explain it? I take it frame by frame. They have you all jumping, shouting, saying that. O is for other, P is for people scratch a temple. The last P, well, that's not that simple, huh? It's like another, you know what I'm saying? Like another way to call a cat a kitten. It's 5 little letters that I'm missing here. You get it on occasion if the other party is a gamer. But seems I gotta start you explaining. Bust it. Like, bro, I could rap OPP tracks all day long. So obviously Naughty by Nature is one of my all-time favorites. That's why they up there in my top 15. Alright, so that's Naughty by Nature. Now moving on along to the top 10, alright? Let's get it.
Number 10, Ghetto Boys.
GB, Coming in at number 10, straight from Houston, it's the Ghetto Boys. The Ghetto Boys featuring Scarface, Willie D, and Bushwick Bill. And when you think of the South, you think of Southern hip hop, the first group that should come to your mind is the Ghetto Boys. These men paved the way for the South to me. They came out at a time where Southern hip hop wasn't really, popping. They came out at a time where East Coast and West Coast hip hop was reigning supreme. And I remember them from that time. They were one of my favorite groups. And just the messages behind their music is what makes them so unique to me, because their music is hard. I like it that it's hard, and then on top of that, it'd be some strong messages behind a lot of them songs if you take the time to actually listen to them. You feel me? My favorite member of the Ghetto Boys. Now, to be honest with you, when I was little, my favorite member used to be Bushwick Bill. Simply because he was the character of the group. You know what I'm saying? He was the little person. He was like the hype man of the group. You know what I'm saying? He was the most animated. He's no longer with us. God rest his soul. Rest in peace to Bushwick Bill. But as a kid, he was my favorite member of the Ghetto Boys. But as I gotten older and become a grown man and really listen to their music and what they saying behind their messages, my favorite member of the Ghetto Boys is Willie D. You know what I'm saying? Scarface is obviously the most successful, the most legendary producer now, songwriter. If he ain't in the Hall of Fame, he deserved to be. Scarface is that guy when it comes to the Ghetto Boys. But for me, it's Willie D. To me, Willie D is the hardest effort on the Ghetto Boys. Just his delivery, everything. He just don't give them when he delivers. And I like that. You know what I'm saying? And true story, Willie D actually knows who I am. He has acknowledged me on his podcast that he does. Unfortunately, watching me on Love After Lockup, and it's embarrassing. So he don't have a favorable view of me, unfortunately. Whatever, I can't change that, but I respect the hell out of Willie D. And so some of my favorite songs of the Ghetto Boys, is one led by Willie D called I'm Not a Motherfucking Gentleman. Straight up, I'm Not a Motherfucking Gentleman. I love that song. My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me, obviously, is their flagship song. I love that song. But my favorite song from the Ghetto Boys is called Point of No Return. Ain't no video to it, but it's hard as hell. It's actually the beat that's playing behind me right now. If I'm able to keep the music in this video, I'm just going to keep it that way. It should be playing behind me unless I had to take it out. But yeah, Point of No Return, my favorite Ghetto Boys song. And that's my number 10 spot, the Ghetto Boys. So moving on along, let's get
Number 9, EPMD.
Hey, relax your mind, let your conscience be free, and get down to the sounds of your PMD. Hey, coming in at number 9 on my top 15 favorite hip-hop groups is none other than Eric and Paris Making Dollars, EPMD. Now, I ain't gonna lie, out of all the groups on this list, EPMD is probably the one that I know the least about. However, the reason why I got them so high on this list is just because of their importance to hip hop in general, and like Naughty by Nature, because of their flow. Group members consisting of Eric Sermon, Paris Smith, hence the name Eric and Paris Making Dollars. And I ain't gonna lie, EPMD, something about Eric Sermon's flow just did it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so smooth. It was kind of almost Big Daddy Kane-like to me in a lot of ways. And I don't know, they always had this seriousness about them, but it was smooth. And I don't know, that's why I like EPMD. A lot of their songs I wasn't too familiar with. I know I like So What You Saying. You know what I'm saying? It was one they had out called The Joint. I like that. Obviously, though, my favorite song is "You Got to Chill." You know what I'm saying? Doo, 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 doo. Yeah, that's my joint right there. And my favorite member of EPMD is clearly Eric Sermon. He's a legendary, songwriter. I think he's a producer now. I'm not sure. And if he ain't in the Hall of Fame, he should be in there too. Parrish is alright too, but you know what I'm saying? I like the E-double-E. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. So anyways, that's my number 9 interest, EPMD, alright? So let's keep it moving.
Number 8, Bone, Thugs in Harmony.
Hey, you know, let me somebody, you know. Hey, coming in at number 8 on my list is none other than Bone, Thugs in Harmony. Hell yeah, consisting of Busy Bone, Wishbone, Lazy Bone, Crazy Bone, and Flesh and Bone. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are 5 of them. And Lord Jesus, have mercy, what can I say about Bone? Let me tell you something. When I was a kid, Bone Thugs in Harmony was my favorite group. Man, let me tell you something. I could not understand nothing that they were saying half the time, but I was spattering off that gibberish. I could still hear me reciting Busy Bone as a little kid in my little kid voice. And I never even knew what he was saying back there, but I liked it, you know what I'm saying? And it's because of their sound. Nobody sounded like Bone back then. You didn't know if they were singing, rapping. It was just something so unique about them. And because they were affiliated with Eazy-E, who has always, that's my dude. And, you know what I'm saying? At the time, I didn't even realize that. I was 8 really when I really 7, 8, when I really started to get familiar with who Bone was. And it wasn't until I seen the Crossroads video after Eazy-E had passed away that I even realized that they were really associated with him like that. When they had I ain't gonna lie, that was a scary video. I loved it, but it was scary. Like, you know what I'm saying? They had the Angel of Death in there just messing with people, man. When he walked up and killed Uncle Charles, man, look, I was so mad. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to fight him too. You know what I'm saying? But I loved how, they had the Easy Ghost at the end walking up the hill with the angels, and then they had Easy up in the sky. You feel me? Bone was one of those groups, if they not in the Hall of Fame, they definitely should be. I say that about a lot of them, but Bone, I'm dead ass. Like, I don't know how my childhood would have been had Bone Thugs in Harmony not been out. Now, my favorite member of Bone Thugs in Harmony is my man Busy Bone. And true fact, I know Busy Bone. Me and him know each other. We speak to each other sometimes. But me and his wife actually speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk to each other through Instagram all the time. I was shocked that he even knows who I am. You feel me? But, to know that he watched me and he say I'm his dog and he like me, that meant everything to me, because that's my favorite member of Bone Thugs in Harmony. As a matter of fact, I was upset, when they kind of reunited some years down the line without Busy, and Busy wasn't there. I was like, the hell is this? But it's still Bone, and they will always have a spot in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Some of my favorite songs from Bone, man, I can go down the list. It's the thuggest, rugged Bone. Hey, it's the thuggest, rugged Bone. That's one of them. First of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. Get up, get some catch the text and come on. Yeah, even the one they did with Phil Collins, that take me high. And I don't remember. And Phil Collins looked so out of place, just stone-faced and everything. But there he was with Bone. But my favorite song of all time from Bone Thugs in Harmony is Crossroads. Clearly, everybody loves Crossroads. All right, so that's Bone. That's my number 8 entrance on the list. All right, so let's keep it moving.
Number 7, Outkast.
hey baby, hey hey baby, hey coming in at number 7. You see him on the shirt, Outkast. Yes, sir. Now what can you say about Outkast? Like, come on, man, it's Outkast. Ain't no more legendary Southern group than Outkast. I don't even know where to begin. This group right here means so much to me and to Southern hip hop in general. I remember way back in 1995 at them Source Awards. Matter of fact, let me not even get started on that. The group members of Outkast: Andre 3000, Big Boy. Let me just start right there. I remember back in 1995 at them Source Awards, where hip hop was embroiled in that East Coast West Coast rivalry, and Outkast, these new up and comers, went up there on that stage to get the new artist award, best new artist award or whatever. And Andre 3000 got up there on that stage, and they were getting booed to hell by that New York crowd. And what Andre 3000 said, the South got something to say. I remember it. And sure enough, Outkast came out the box. My first introduction to Outkast was around about probably 96 maybe. You know what I'm saying? And they really paved the way for the South to me. I feel like Outkast started the Southern Renaissance that ended up taking place within hip hop, and to where eventually the South straight took over hip hop. I feel like it started with Outkast, because from the late 90s on to the early 2000s, it was Outkast, you know what I'm saying? Then came Ludacris along. Honestly, it was Outkast along, in them late 90s, it was Outkast. It was No Limit. It was Cash Money. You know what I'm saying? Then later on down the line came Ludacris. Then came T.I. later on. Young Jeezy later on. Then, on top, then Lil Wayne grew up and straight took over the game for a while. And you can trace all that back to these guys right here, Outkast. And they definitely deserve their spot in the Hall of Fame. Clearly. My favorite member of Outkast is Andre 3000. Let me tell you something, as outlandish as he is, lyrically, it's almost nobody in the game that can touch Andre 3000. That man got bars, all right? He might not seem like it, but you really gotta Andre 3000 is a legend. And I like Big Boy too, but Andre 3000 is my guy. Favorite Outkast songs? Man, let me go down the list. Rosa Parks, Sorry Miss Jackson, So Fresh and So Clean, shucks. I would say Hey Y'all, but I feel like that's more of an Andre song than, both of them. But for my favorite song, it probably has to be Bombs Over, or B.O.B. I'll just call it that. Bombs Over Back There. Just because it's of the flow, just because of the up-tempo beat. I like Andre's flow, and I like Big Boy, just the colors of the video. So that's my favorite Outkast song, and that's my number 7 entrance on the list. Outkast, baby. Yeah.
Number 6, A Tribe Called Quest.
Hey, here we go, yo. Hey, here we go, yo. Hey, so what's the scenario? Hey, coming in at number 6 on my list is none other than A Tribe Called Quest. Yeah, A Tribe Called Quest, featuring Q-Tip, Phife Dawg, Ali Muhammad, and I think Jabari White, if I got it right. Yeah. Now, Tribe Called Quest, to me, is another one of those legendary hip-hop groups, you know what I'm saying, that should already be in the Hall of Fame, all right? And what makes them unique is because they're a different type of hip-hop group. They're fun. It's hard to explain unless you know who they are. And it's something about that flow. It's that fun hip-hop New York type flow. And it just fit for the times. You feel me? I mean, A Tribe Called Quest was also my first introduction to Busta Rhymes. I don't think that Busta Rhymes was actually a member of A Tribe Called Quest, but their scenario video that they did was actually my first introduction to Busta Rhymes, who is one of my favorite rappers of all time. So I definitely credit them for that. You know, rest in peace to Phife Dawg, who's no longer with us, by the way. You know, it's a shame we've lost so many legendary, hip hop artists these days. My favorite member of A Tribe Called Quest is definitely Q-Tip. You know what I'm saying? Just his flow in general, the sound of his voice is so different and unique. I don't know, I just like Q-Tip. So some of my favorite songs from A Tribe Called Quest, Bonita Applebum, you gotta put me on. Bonita Applebum, I said, you gotta put me on. Bonita Applebum, hey, you gotta put me on. Bonita. Hey, that song was so smooth. Like, just man. I could just roll in my car, listen to Bonita Applebum, and just, you know what I'm saying? My all-time favorite song from A Tribe Called Quest is Scenario. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. Hey, so what's a scenario? Like, that's just one of those songs you get hyped to. I don't know why. Just the doom 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 when it first started to come on. Doom doom doom. You know it's finna get hyped. So yeah, man, that's my number 6 entrance. A Tribe Called Quest. Alright?
Number 5, Mobb Deep.
Yo, I got you shook off the real ones. Moving right along into the top 5. Coming in at number 5, straight from Queens. You already know, the infamous Mobb Deep. Yes, sir. Consisting of group members, Prodigy and Havoc. When I think about Mobb Deep, let me tell you something about hip-hop duos. I like Kid and Play as a hip-hop duo. I like Outkast as a hip-hop duo. But when it comes to hip-hop duos, it ain't nobody better than me than the infamous Mobb Deep. It's just something about the sound of Mobb Deep. It's so gritty. It's so hard. It's so New York. It's so Queens, man. And it just resonates, man. It's just, just like the Bonita Applebum song, just like a Nas song. I can sit back in my car and just listen to the Mobb Deep and just ride out, man. That shit just flow to me. And you know what I'm saying, just my favorite member of Mobb Deep, unpopular opinion, but my favorite member of Mobb Deep is Havoc. Everybody like Prodigy, and don't get me wrong. By the way, rest in peace to Prodigy. He's no longer with us. Another one gone too soon, man. Everybody loved Prodigy. Don't get me wrong, Prodigy hard as hell. But it was just something about Havoc. Havoc was always the more wild one to me, the hardest one to me. And just something about his flow that I liked. You know what I'm saying? My favorite Mobb Deep song, I ain't gonna lie, they got this one song called Drop a Gem on Them, which is basically a diss to Tupac, which I kind of did. I'm a Tupac fan. That's my favorite rapper. So obviously I kind of took offense to it. But that shit hard. Like, you got to get credit where it's due. They came for Pac, all right? You know, so that's one of them. They got this one, more current song that I feel like is underrated, that I really like, called Taking You Off Here. And, Havoc do the hook to it. And I just... Taking you off here, said he gotta get got. Nigga violated, so we gotta get got. Man, listen, that's my joint. But my favorite Mobb Deep song, clearly, Shook Ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, Shook Ones. Everybody know that song and know Mobb Deep. So anyways, that's my number 5 entry of my top 15, the infamous Mobb Deep, all right?
Number 4, Wu-Tang Clan.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar dollar bill, y'all. Hey, coming in at number 4. You already know the legendary, the Wu-Tang Clan. Hey, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing with. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing with. This got to be one of, if not the most legendary hip-hop group of all time. This group got 9 motherfucking members in it, bruh. 9. I'm talking about the RZA, the Jizza, Ghostface Killer, Master Killer, You God, Inspector Deck, Raekwon, Old Dirty Bastard, last but not least, Method Man himself. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. What can you say about Wu-Tang? Just like Mobb Deep, man. This group is so important. Like, it's just so, just their sound was so hard to me. Like, I love how the RZA produces stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because just like Mobb Deep, they sound was so gritty, was so New York. Every video you seen them in, they look like they was up the block in New York. You feel me? Just rapping. The beats was always hard. The rhymes, I mean, you know what I'm saying? As time progressed, some of their videos got a little more mainstream. I remember they had this one Triumph video where it was a little more mainstream, and then I think the Gravel Pit one was too. But for the most part, man, couldn't too many people F with Wu-Tang. And then on top of that, so many of them individually had their own success, all right? You know what I'm saying? Out of the Wu-Tang Clan, I probably would say the most successful members that come out of there, if I can name them off the top of my head, I'd probably say Ghostface Killer. I put Raekwon in there because he had a couple hard albums. I put the RZA in there because the RZA has always been relevant. Not even as just an artist, but as a producer. You know what I'm saying? Like, put the RZA up in there. You know, Old Dirty Bastard, obviously, and God rest his soul, Old Dirty Bastard, another one, no longer with us, man. You know, Old Dirty Bastard was the personality, basically. And then, of course, Method Man. Everybody know Method Man. Still relevant to this day. You know what I mean? My favorite member of the Wu-Tang Clan, you know, as a kid, it was Old Dirty Bastard. All right? Old Dirty, because I just liked his attitude. Like, he's just a wild one. He didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. I remember all his shit. Shame on you when you step up to a crew. The Old Dirty Bastard, Brooklyn. So, shame on you. That was my dude. But as I got older, started appreciating lyricism more. I gotta say Method Man. Method's my favorite member of the Wu-Tang Clan. And they are still influential to this day. People still wear their clothes. I got a Wu-Tang Clan shirt that I wear. Alright? That's how influential they are. Alright? So now some of my favorite songs from Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? That Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing with. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing with. The Method Man song, M-E-T-H-O-D, man, M-E-T-H-O-D, man, hey, you, get off my clan, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, I actually like that one, check out my gravel pit, it's a mystery as we go. A lot of people didn't like that, but I did. But my favorite song from the Wu-Tang Clan is definitely Cream. Cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar dollar bill, y'all. That delivery from Method Man and that flow from Raekwon. It just, you know, I grew up on the crime side, the New York town side. Staying alive was no time. More on second hands. More was bounce on old man. So then we moved to Shaolin Land. That's my joint. Like, yeah. So, Wu-Tang Clan. My number 4 entrance, definitely deserved. Alright? So now, let's move on to the top 3. Alright? Let's get
Number 3, Run DMC.
Oh yeah, coming in at number 3, yes indeed, it's the Kings of Rock themselves, Run DMC. Group members include Joseph Run Simmons, Daryl DMC McDaniels, and of course Jason Jam Master J Mizell, who is no longer with us. Rest in peace to Jam Master J. What can I say about Run DMC? I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MCs should call me sire. To burn my kingdom, you must use fire. I won't stop rocking till I retire. Now we rock the party and come correct. All cuss at all times. It rhymes correct. Boy, listen. Let me tell you something. Run DMC is probably the most legendary hip-hop group of all time. Run DMC, you know, when you talk about the Def Jam, the golden age of hip-hop and that Def Jam renaissance, Run DMC ushered that motherfucker in, okay? They kicked the gates down. Run DMC was the first hip-hop group to really cross over into the mainstream. I'm talking about onto MTV. Because, you know, before, MTV wouldn't even play black artists. And when they did, the only one that they would play was Michael Jackson. As far as hip-hop goes, Run DMC broke down that barrier. I mean, I know for a fact that they are already in the Hall of Fame, and it's well-deserved. I mean, Run DMC has so much influence on so much of hip-hop. They had people walking around with shell-toe Adidas with no shoestrings on them. Like my dad used to dress like the Run DMC. Everybody wanted to be like Run. You know what I'm saying? I wanted them glasses like DMC. My mama had a big pair of them glasses that I used to try to wear sometimes and act like I was DMC. Alright? That's how influential they were. Even Jam Master J. Jam Master J is the genius, in my opinion, behind Run DMC, behind their sound. It was even one instance where he rapped himself. But even in some of their songs, like it's a song called Peter Piper where he gets a little, Jam Master J get a little solo part and you can hear him scratching. Like, man, I could just go on for days and days about Run DMC, their influence on the game, and why they are probably the most important, the most legendary hip-hop rap group of all time. My favorite member of Run DMC is Run. Clearly, Run, to me, Run is the voice of Run DMC. I like DMC too, but Run was my guy. Like, just his presence, you know, the way he flowed, that, you know, that hard sound that he had, the loud sound, you know, that Run had. You know, I mean, hell, they even broke the barrier and crossed over and did a rock song with Aerosmith. When I heard Walk This Way, I thought that was a Run DMC song. I didn't even know that was an Aerosmith song originally, and they just crossed over. Like, that's the first time I heard rap and rock together. That's how influential Run DMC was. Now, my favorite Run DMC songs, and man, listen, I can go down the list. I mean, Sucker MCs, 2 years ago, a friend of mine asked me to write some MC rhymes, so I said this rhyme, I'm about this. You know what I'm saying? Sucker MCs, it's tricky. My Adidas, Run's house, hey, whose house? Run's house. King of rock, there is none higher, that's my joint. Peter Piper, beats to the rhyme of the rhyme I just made. Yeah, beats to the rhyme. But I have to say my favorite Run DMC song is Rock Box. You know, boy, sucker MC perpetrating fraud. You rather go out and get your crowd. You're the kind of guy that girl ignored. I'm dropping, you know what I'm saying? My name is Joseph Simmons, but my middle name is Run, and you should rock. Yeah, for some reason I like that song. I like the black and white, you know, video. I like the old white man streaming the electric guitar, just the delivery, I don't know. Run DMC, definitely legendary group, definitely deserving of the number 3 spot on my all-time top 15 favorite hip-hop groups. So that's Run DMC. Now let's move along.
Number 2, Public Enemy.
Hell yeah, yes indeed. Coming in at number 2 on the list. You better believe it. The motherfucking group that sings the theme song, my original theme song, to dive into it with D. You guess it. I'm talking about none other than Public Enemy. Public mother enemy. Come on, man. What can you say about Public? Like, I mean, when you talk about, again, that Def Jam renaissance and the golden age of hip-hop, right along with Run DMC, there was Public Enemy. And when you talk about messages behind your songs, influence, man, Public Enemy was the most conscious, woke rap group of all time. Members consist of legendary Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Professor Griff, Terminator X, S1W, I believe, and a couple other members that I'm not all that familiar with. But man, Public Enemy would be the number 1 group on my list if it were not for another group. And it's because of the major impact that Public Enemy had. Public Enemy scared people. You know what I'm saying? Because of how woke they was. Because of how strong the message behind a lot of their music was. And I loved it. You know what I'm saying? There was nobody that could deliver like Chuck D. There was something about Chuck D that here it is, bam, and you say, God damn, here comes the dope jam. Man, listen, man, his voice, yes, the rhythm, the rebel, you know, radio, suckers never play me without a mix. It just was so powerful and strong, and it sucked you in. And then you got Flav, the hype man. Ain't no greater hype man than Flavor Flav. You feel me? And I'm talking about pre-Flavor of Love, Flavor Flav. I'm talking about Public Enemy, hip-hop, Flavor Flav. Shut him down. Shut him down. I shut him down. Shut him down. Shut him down. Get up and get down. 911 is just, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, as a kid, as a little kid, I mean, I remember Public Enemy very vividly. And yeah, the reason why they are number 2 on my list is because I can play Public Enemy all day, all night. I know almost every lyric to almost every one of they made a song. And yes, that they had to be number 2. There was going to be no other number 2 on my list than Public Enemy. Now, my favorite members of Public Enemy. As a kid, it was Flavor Flav, no doubt. Much like Bushwick Bill and the Ghetto Boys, Flavor Flav pretty much the personality of Public Enemy. He's the court jester. He's the funny man. He's the hype man. I like his, you know, the way I like the style. I like the big clock. I like the goofiness about him. I used to could do the Flavor Flav dance. I can't do it no more, but I used to could do that. So as a kid, it was Flav. But as I got older, and like I said, started listening more to them lyrics and everything, it's Chuck D, hands down. Can't nobody deliver like Chuck D. You know, he was it for me. And I know that Public Enemy is also in the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. You know what I'm saying? Some of my favorite Public Enemy songs, you know, there's clearly Fight the Power, you know what I'm saying? Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos, which is probably my favorite song, if I'm keeping it a buck. It's very controversial, but I just like the beat and Chuck D's delivery that I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it and said they were suckers. Like that, man, listen. I love, that's my favorite Public Enemy song, Black Steel and the Hour of Chaos. But then there was Night of the Living Bassheads. Here it is, bam, and you say, God damn, this is a dope jam. You know, that was one of my favorites. By the time I get to Arizona, where they was threatening Arizona because Arizona tried to cancel basically Martin Luther King Day. That was my joint. Shut them down. 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 Bring the noise. That's another one. Turn it up. And they actually did a remix of that with Anthrax. You know what I'm saying? Flav song, 911 is a joke. Get up and get down. 911 is joking your town. You know, I can't do nothing for you, man. Another Flavor Flav led joint. But matter of fact, let me know. I lied. Black Steel or the Hour of Chaos is not my favorite Public Enemy song. Actually, my favorite Public Enemy song, and I'm tripping, is the same song that I used as my original opening theme song before YouTube started tripping. Rebel Without a Pause. That is my favorite Public Enemy song. Just the, just the delivery from Chuck D. I could go on and on about Public Enemy, but yes, that is my number 2 favorite hip-hop group of all time, Public Enemy. Now let's move on to the top, baby. Let's get it. Before I move on to my number 1 favorite group, obviously I had to narrow this list down to 15, but there's so many more hip-hop groups that I enjoyed and that I liked and that I just couldn't compress them all into this one list. So before I move on to number 1, what I want to do right here is give you some honorable mentions and give a little bit of credit to the ones that I couldn't get on this list. And if I forgot somebody, I apologize, but I did my best. So without further ado, here's my honorable mentions.
The Fugees. Gang Starr. Rest in peace, Guru. The Locks. The Hot Boys. The Roots. Saint Lunatics. Goody Mob. Migos, rest in peace, Take Off. Third Base. Digital Underground, rest in peace, Shock G, Tupac. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Crime Mob. Diplomats. Dipset. Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force. De La Soul, rest in peace, True God. The Fat Boys, rest in peace, Buffy the Human Beatbox and Prince Marky D. Houdini, rest in peace, Ecstasy. UGK, rest in peace, Pimp C. Onyx. D12. Rest in peace. Proof. Crisscross. Rest in peace, Chris Kelly. Number 1, NWA.
Oh, you already know. You already knew what my number 1 favorite all-time rap group was gonna be. Anybody that knows me, if you know me well, you know that my all-time favorite rap group is NWA, the niggas with attitudes. I mean, come on. Was it gonna be any other group? Come on, man. I know I said that Run DMC is probably the greatest hip-hop group or the most important hip-hop group of all time. But the greatest hip-hop group of all time to me is the niggas with attitudes. NWA. I mean, there's nothing... I almost don't have no words for how much this group means to me. I love this group dearly. Like, the delivery of the group, the hardcore edge, which had never been heard of before until these guys stepped up on the scene. NWA, consisting of group members Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, DJ Yella, MC Ren. Also, the one forgotten member that never really gets mentioned, Arabian Prince. And I even give a special shout out to unofficial member of NWA, the DOC, because my man, the DOC, was very influential with NWA. And what can I say, man? From the time these guys stepped on the screen, that was my shit. When I seen Straight Outta Compton, I thought that Ice Cube was gonna whoop my ass. The way he stepped up on that screen and said, Straight Outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube, from the gang called Niggas with Attitudes. Like, it you know what I'm saying? NWA was it for me. And it was because they were such rebels, and it resonated with me, because anybody that knows me or has been following me on social media, I got that tendency in me. I got that rebellious, not give a fuck tendency in me. You know what I'm saying? I don't really do well with authority figures. Hence why I'm like public enemy number 1, you know, with Sharp Entertainment right now. And so, a group like that came out, broke barriers, and said, fuck, you know what I'm saying, fuck what the norm is supposed to be. We gonna change all that. Cause think about it, man. Wasn't nobody on the East, wasn't nobody playing West Coast music like that. They really paved the way. NWA and Ice-T really paved the way for West Coast music. Cause nobody was playing NWA in New York at the time. And being in the South, we didn't hear it like that either. You rarely would catch that. And it was just, it's the most influential hip hop of all time, in my opinion. And what can I say? My favorite member of NWA. As a kid, my favorite member of NWA was Ice Cube. Simply because he is the first voice that you hear. Scratch that. Actually, Dr. Dre is the first voice that you hear when he says you are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge. However, the first voice that you hear start rapping is Ice Cube. So to me, he was the voice of NWA. And he had a uniqueness about him. I really wanted to be Ice Cube when I was little. That Jerry curl, I don't know, just that how hardcore he seemed to be back then. I wanted to be Cube. But as I got older, man, my favorite member of NWA is Eazy-E, hands down. Eazy-E is NWA. Eazy-E is the face of NWA. NWA is pretty much designed around Easy. You know what I'm saying? He's the hardest nigga from the group, in my opinion. Like, and if I could be any group member from it, it would be Eazy-E. You know what I'm saying? His album came out before NWA's did, so everybody already knew who Easy was. And he just got a uniqueness about the sound of his voice, his flow, his delivery. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And each member of the group individually, you know what I'm saying, had a little their own individual success, in my opinion. You know, Ice Cube obviously is still relevant to this day. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube got an NWA, got out on his own, had a bunch of successful albums, America's Most Wanted, The Death Certificate, I think he had one called Jackin' for Beats, War and Peace, so forth and so on. Q Vision, you know, his movie company, he made the successful transition into theater. Don't you get me started on his movies. I mean, Friday, next Friday, Friday after next, Barbershop 1, 2, you know, 3, you know, are we there yet? I mean, what can you say about Ice Cube? Straight Outta Compton, the movie, based off of NWA. He's still relevant to this day. A straight legend. You know, Dr. Dre, just like Ice Cube, successful in his own right. You know what I'm saying? He came out with the group. He disbanded from the group. Created what? Death Row Records. You know, discovered Snoop Dogg. Discovered, you know, signed other artists like the Dog Pound that we know and love. The Dog Pound. Nate Dogg. Warren G. Lady of Rage. You know what I'm saying? Branched off again on his own. He had his own success with his own albums. The Chronic, you know what I'm saying? Branched out on his own. Created Aftermath Records. Had the Chronic 2000, which was there. It was alright. But despite all that, discovered Eminem, one of the greatest MCs of all time, who then subsequently discovered 50 Cent. You feel me? Beats by Dre. Motherfucker's a billionaire now. I forgot the Chronic 2001. That was a banger. Still relevant to this day. So, ain't too much you can say about Dr. Dre. Eazy-E himself was also a success. I think there's a misconception that, you know, once Ice Cube and Dr. Dre left, that, you know, Ruthless Records fell apart and Easy. Nah, man, Ruthless was still riding high. You know what I'm saying? Easy was the boss. Easy was the one making all the money. Easy was still making money off of Dre when Dre left. That's how smart Easy was. Easy was getting his paper. And see, the thing about Easy is Easy was never really an MC. He never wanted to rap. He, you know, he said it himself in his own song, Boys in the Hood, or 8 Ball. No, it was 8 Ball. Ice Cube, Bryce Rhymes. That I say. You know what I'm saying? But he had success in his own right. Easy had his own albums out. I remember my favorite Easy song is Real Motherfucking G's, where he dissed Dre. You feel me? Not only that, but he discovered certain artists. Drayster, BG Knockout, and of course Bone Thugs and Harmony. We wouldn't have Bone without Easy. Easy is the godfather of gangster rap, straight up. And unfortunately, his time with us was cut short, you know, because rest in peace to Eazy-E. He's no longer here with us either. Shame, you know, we lost him to AIDS, you know, and yeah, and even the other members of NWA who don't get as much shine as the other three. MC Ren had a successful career in his own right. He had a couple albums out there that was bangers. You feel me? And I believe that the only reason he, you know, doesn't seem to get as much shine as the other ones is, you know, because Ren ended up converting to Islam at a certain point in time. And so, you know what I'm saying? But he was still making music. You feel me? And then Yella, the DJ, went off and started, producing porn. So he was doing all right. Yes, but there's no group more influential to me than NWA. My favorite NWA songs, bro, I can listen. F the Police, clearly. Gangsta Gangsta. Dope Man, she's a bitch. So if I'm poor or rich, I talk in the exact same pitch. Now the title don't apply to all women, but all women have a little in them. You know what I'm saying? That's my joint. I ain't the one. Led by Ice Cube. I ain't the one. The one who gets played like a poop butt. See, I'm from the streets. So they know what's up on these silly games that's played by the women. I'm only happy when I'm going up in them. But I'm a menace to society. Girls in biker shorts are so fly to me. So I step to them with aggression. Listen to the kid and learn a lesson today. See, they think we narrow-minded because they got a cute face and big behind. Man, listen. Shit. You want lobster, huh? I'm thinking Burger King. Man, listen. That's my joint. Another one, 8 Ball. I don't drink Grass Monkey. Like to be funky. Nickname Eazy-E, yo, 8 Ball Junkie. What I'm saying? Another one I want to give a shout out to is called Something to Dance To. And that was one led by Arabian Prince. And Arabian Prince don't get a lot of credit. I mean, he's on the damn album cover from Straight Outta Compton. He's the 6th guy. He's the other guy up there with Jerry Curl. But for whatever reason, he kind of gets the shaft when NWA gets talked about. But it's a song called Something to Dance To. And it's kind of unlike the other ones, but it's all right. There's this one song, though, on the Straight Outta Compton album called Parental Discretion is Advised. I would advise a lot of people to go listen to that because it includes the DOC, who is very influential to that group, because Ice Cube was not the only member of that group that wrote rhymes. Ice Cube was one of the main writers, but MC Ren also wrote rhymes, as did the DOC. A lot of those rhymes that come from Eazy-E and Dr. Dre were written either by Ice Cube or MC Ren or the DOC. Especially in Eazy's case, the DOC wrote a lot of Eazy stuff. That We Want Eazy song was written by the DOC. So in the song Parental Discretion is Advised, the DOC is the first one to have a verse on there. And then it goes down the line, the DOC's got a verse, Ren got a verse, Dre got a verse, Cube got a verse, Eazy got a verse, and I really like that song. So I would definitely recommend that song. What else? Express Yourself. The songs they did without Ice Cube when he left. 100 Miles of Running. That shit hard as fuck. Even though they was dissing Ice Cube, it was hard. A song Real Niggas, where they was really coming at Ice Cube, it was hard to me. Appetite for Destruction on the Niggas for Life album. That's my joint. Always Into Something. That's another one of my joints on the Niggas for Life album. Approach to Danger. That junk is hard to me. But obviously my all-time favorite NWA song is Straight Outta Compton. I know every lyric to that song from start to finish. Same thing with F the Police. Same thing with Gangsta Gangsta. Same thing with Dope Man. There's so many other NWA songs. Now, if you can't tell that is my all-time favorite rap group of all time, I don't know what to tell you. But anyways, that is my list. I thank you all for sitting here with me, listening to me run my trap, and enjoying me talk about my top 15 favorite hip-hop groups of all time. I hope y'all have enjoyed the beginning of what is my music section of Dive Into It with D. So as I always say, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, Leave your comments down below. Subscribe. And as always, don't ever hesitate to dive into it with D. I'm out.